blocked off in a matter of hours. We've seen new tents put up as well. So they are very much into a construction phase here in D.C. as you're taking a look at, I think, a 9-foot fence that goes around the area. And if you want to pan off, Gage, to the left, if you look off that way, that is generally where a lot of the Black Lives Matter supporters would be set up there. They have now moved to another location, and we'll go by that on our way to, we're going to walk down towards the Willard. So it's quite a ways, but at least it gives you an idea of what we are looking at. And we'll go ahead and walk this way. And just bear with us. We are live, and we have a camera, and of course it's all unscripted. I was talking to this lady here. You're from the area? No?
We're visiting to see what this is all about.
Yeah. What's your thoughts when you see all of this? Did you expect to see the fencing, the security, the troops?
Honestly, I've been living in this kind of dual life. I went from protest in Puerto Rico to protest in Georgia to protest here. So it's just like my life is a protest.
Your life is one gigantic protest. So this is shocking to see our nation's capital kind of locked down like this, though.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of a relief because I like to see that they take so much precaution. You know, it gives you value to something.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, they have taken extreme caution to whatever threats might have come up for this inauguration, and obviously we've got city blocks shut down, so I feel safe. We were talking earlier, this is probably one of the safest cities in America right now.
If I feel safe, even with this situation, I feel, especially because of the situation, I learned that there were a lot of Puerto Rican National Guard, so when I learned that my people are here protecting, I know we're good.
You're good. You feel good about that. All right. Well, God bless you. Thanks for taking some time with us. And we'll continue to walk this way. And it's going to be probably about a 1.5 mile journey, but we'll see if we can give you a good perspective of what's going on. What you see around the city, if it's within the area you can get in, is the fencing everywhere. Every business, it seems like, has fencing up around it, and of course boards up on the windows as well. It's just, and that's really been a part of the culture here for quite some time. We were here back early November. Boards were up on businesses. A lot of businesses have been closed, and as you probably might know, this area is very restricted as far as restaurants goes. There is no indoor dining here in this area. You have to go over into Virginia to get that. So business has been limited for months now, and I can't imagine anyone doing business now, especially as we build up to inauguration. If you go a couple blocks to where we're at to the north, it does open up, but what we're going to show you is what they has constructed. Gage and I came into DC last night at around 6. We had to take the train into this area because obviously all access was blocked off. There was no point even attempting to take an Uber because they're not going to be able to drop you off anywhere to where you need to be, so you have to take the train. As we were walking, we noticed, let's look right behind me, these are tents, and it looks very much like if you were to go to an NFL football game and you had to go through a security tent, lay your stuff out. This will eventually be flipped, from what I was told, on Tuesday night. Anybody coming in this area will have to walk through a metal detector and full search security as far as jacket, coat, remove all those things. It's going to be put in place, and that is just one of many tents around this area. Let's go walk back this way, and we'll show you what it looks like over here. Obviously, a huge amount of police presence in this entire area between Metro Police, DC Police, Transit Police, and of course National Guard. Just a tremendous law and order presence here in DC, and it's what you would expect. I mean, we saw what happened on the 6th, and obviously this is a huge measure to protect everyone from anything happening during the inauguration. Like we talked to that lady earlier, I've not once felt like I was threatened in this city. It feels very safe because nobody is here. And I talked to a Secret Service agent earlier about the situation. He says, look, if anybody attempts to get in this city with any ill intentions, they are going to be met with force. And they have such a presence here that I just can't imagine anything disruptive happening here in D.C. Okay, so as you can see, businesses boarded up. Like I said before, it's been like that for months. We've seen businesses go with the boards up. We've seen them take it down a week later. We've seen them go back up. So it's been kind of this merry-go-round with construction here as far as putting up boards for businesses. Also, while you're joining us, let us know where you're watching our broadcast. We've been, in the last couple weeks, our subscribers have really gone up, and we'd like to get to know where you guys are watching us from. Comment down below, share this video on this Saturday night, and if people were wondering what the situation looks like in Washington, D.C., we're here. Gage and myself will be here for several days, letting you see what we see. Now, okay, this over here, that is the new setup for a lot of the activists that have been here. And if you've been to Washington, D.C., you have seen these guys. They are out here every day with their flags, with their music. I was out here very early this morning walking around, and they were already here. I apologize for the language you might be seeing, but that is just really a sample of this area and their feelings towards the president. So, all right, so we're going to keep walking. Kind of gives you an idea like that. These barricades are everywhere. Not only do they act to block traffic, but you can see they also act in certain points to funnel in a crowd, as you would think going in and out of a football stadium. So the presence is here. I was also told that here in a few days, the access will be very limited to this area, and so that if you have any plans of coming down here, you might want to just double think everything, because it is very difficult to get down here, and it will be very difficult to leave as well. That is just a restricted access. We have noticed, and I want to point this out, Gage, these communication towers seem to be all over the city. I talked to a lady earlier in our hotel. She had no cell phone service at all, and she was from Spain. I'm not sure it's because her foreign carrier didn't work here or what, but we've seen reports that people have said their cell phones have been jammed since they got in D.C. I haven't had that problem. Gage hadn't had that problem as well. We're fine, but it is very interesting to see some equipment like this, and it makes you think for a second, is it internal communications? Is it something that we should be alerted? Are we going to lose communications? I just don't know. I just don't know at this point. Also, earlier we had an interview with Mike Lindell from MyPillow.com. He joined us via a Zoom. He was at the White House yesterday meeting with the president. We had a few minutes with him, and he kind of gave us an update on his situation with the president. A very brief meeting there in the Oval Office. That meeting originally was scheduled for a Thursday. That got pushed back to yesterday. He shared that interview with us. Now, we've had to take it down off of certain platforms, and we'll definitely give you links if you missed that interview to catch up on that, as well as that there's a lot of restrictions of what can be said on the internet. We want to make sure that we abide by all the regulations. So we'll put up a link if you missed that interview. But basically, he did lay out more evidence on what he believes is election fraud. So we'll give you a link on that and let you get his take also on the direction he thinks this country is going. He shares some thoughts on that. He also shares some thoughts on cancel culture in this country, and as you can imagine, he's been a target of a lot of people who do not like him. They don't like what he stands for, and they want to target his business and hurt him financially, and that's just a part of what we've seen in today's culture. All right, if you're just now joining us, we are live here in downtown Washington, D.C. We're about to cross Vermont Street, and we're making our way down towards the Willard Hotel to give you an idea of the construction phase out here, the fencing, the barricades, a little of the National Guard, give you an idea of what all that looks like as well. This is, I believe it's McPherson Square, off to our left. Typically on a Saturday night, this place would be full with people. There are several restaurants in the area, several hotels. There would be people out and about, but tonight that is not the case at all, as it's very much a different scene here in Washington, D.C. Now, Gage, that is another tent that they have put up, and it appears to be an entry point to whatever would happen here. The inauguration entry point, it appears to be that's what that is. Those are set up around the entire area. So, you know, it's just a part of the reality here. Let's just keep walking. We're going to go up here and we're going to make a right. We're going to go right in front of our old apartment that we were here for several months, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that area is now almost like a checkpoint for a lot of the media and some other people that work within this area. Can you imagine trying to make your commute to any offices down here? It seems like it's virtually impossible to get to, but that is the situation. And from what I understand, and I'm looking for a flyer that's on the ground, all this area will be blocked off until the 23rd of January. So it went into effect, if I'm not mistaken, on the 6th, the 7th, as far as street closures, and it'll go down to about the 23rd. So all this area will be restricted for access. Definitely if you want parking. Here's another one of those tents we talked about earlier, another entry point to this area. It is very well laid out like they're expecting a large crowd, like they're expecting tens of thousands of people to come through here for the Biden inauguration. And I keep going back to the notion of, remember Biden saying he didn't want a public inauguration due to safety and health concerns. But yet all this is laid out, so perhaps they have shifted gears somewhat and has changed the tune. Let's take a look at this right here. This gives you another good indication of what the buildings look like here in this area. Since we've lived across the street from here for a while, I've seen these boards go up, I've seen them go down. Obviously, in light of a lot of the events of recent, these are all up now. Can you imagine owning a business down here right now? Can you imagine going through the added expense of putting all this up and down? And of course, your business in general has been very limited due to the pandemic and the regulations in your area as far as business and how many people you can serve and all that good stuff. So now they're dealing with this. Okay, here on the corner, you're seeing some police lights. We lived in this Woodard building on the left. It has now become a checkpoint, if you will, for a lot of companies and people that live in this area, that work in this area. Restricted area. We can't go through this area, but we're going to go around the building. This morning, I'd say people were lined up all here in front, getting ready to go through security. A very busy area here in the morning for people going to work. So, and they started off all of this with these bulldozers, these snow plows. That began the street closures as they put those up, and then that later followed with the fencing and then the larger fencing, and then now the barricade. So it's been kind of a 4-phase series on this. Okay, let's see if we can cross the street here. Okay, we'll give you an idea. Moving some fencing around. That was the building that we called home here for about 3 months here on the corner. They are, like I said, they're putting up fencing, and that was not here earlier today. Just this afternoon that wasn't here. So they're definitely very busy on moving things around and blocking access to this. Now, this building on the corner is the National Bar Association. That is, the next to that is the Department of Treasury. Both those buildings are completely blocked off for entry from this side, so there's no getting around that. I'll let Gage tell me when you want to walk. You know, I got to give it to my props to Gage back here, because it's not easy walking these streets at night with the curbs and all that's going around. So props to Gage for giving us these great shots and trying to hold the camera as steady as possible. Temperature-wise, mid-30s, upper 30s probably. Lows tonight's will be in the low 30s, so it's not extremely cold, but nevertheless it is cold. There's a sign I was talking about earlier right there. Emergency no parking, start date January 16th to January 23rd. So there's the restrictions in regards to this area for the 59th presidential inauguration. Okay, all right, so there you have it there. All right, let's go ahead and make our way down towards the Willard and give you a good idea. We'll walk down here. Now, all these streets, there's certain access that once you get to a point, you do have to prove that you live in the area or you're a member of the media. We have our passes on us at all time, as you need to have that on you at all time. Matter of fact, when we came in last night, we wanted to make sure we had proof that we had a hotel down here, because from what I was told by friends in the law enforcement industry was telling me, you have to prove that you have a reason to be down this area in DC, as they really are absolutely limiting access to this area. All right, how you doing? All right, so what you're seeing now, USA, there you go. I like that. Yeah. Hey, it's always good to chant USA, right? There you go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God bless you. I like that. Man's got some patriotism in it. I love it. I love it. Okay. You never know what you're going to get on the streets here. All right, so here's another fairly large checkpoint. I was here earlier today. Matter of fact, the fencing that you're seeing in front of us, that was not here earlier, so now it is. This will go up here. We'll make a left. This is 14th Street. This will lead us right down to the Willard Hotel, and then at that point we'll check out what's going on around Freedom Plaza as well. Earlier they had a canine sweep around Freedom Plaza, so I couldn't go down there and take any videos or any pictures. I would imagine now that's cleared up, and hopefully with our credentials we'll be allowed to go in. All right. I do want to mention, you know, our partner in all of this, because he's a patriot. He's someone that has stand next to this network for years. He has been. All right, so we're in the corner real quickly in the middle of H and 14th. And normally this street would be filled with people. Today, not so much. It is wide open. We have some security tents right there. As we spoke of earlier, they are positioned where you could easily funnel people in. Off that way as we came in from the train last night, same scenario, businesses boarded up, security checkpoints. I haven't seen any troops now. I don't they're usually earlier they were down here on the corner. But I do want to thank our friend Mike Lindell over at mypillow.com. Thanks to him and all he's done for this network, we are able to essentially do what we can do right now and bring all this video to you. So all I can say is go to our website. Hey, you guys, how you doing, man? Good. Where you guys from? Here. What do you think about all this?
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's hard to get around, huh?
Yeah. What news is this?
Yeah, it was Right Side Broadcasting.
Oh, it's going on YouTube?
YouTube, everything in the world. We're all across social media.
Oh, how many subscribers do you have?
A bunch, millions. We're going to walk down here though, but you guys just we're going down this way, man. Right Side Broadcasting. Yes, sir. You're going to be on there. If you're going right now, you'll see yourself. All right. So you got people just that are out looking, and it's very curious. I understand it. Back to Mike Lindell, mypillow.com. We appreciate his support. We are a viewer-supported network. We are, supported by patriots like Mike Lindell and MyPillow. So if you go to mypillow.com, that's mypillow.com, and you can shop away on there. And of course, you can get up to 66% off, as we have these kids that thought they'd be cute and fly around. But there you go. Anyway, go on there and shop as you can and get up to 66% off on your order. Here's another checkpoint for you here. You've got, a ton of, I can't imagine the man hours they put in basically building all of this. The fencing, the lights, the tents, the security. It's just been something I can't imagine the logistics of setting all this up. Normally, we're out here walking around. There's a CVS, and we have spent many days at that CVS getting groceries, as this area is kind of limited. It is kind of a food desert when it comes to grocery stores. They're open. I talked to the manager earlier, and we talked. I mean, they're closed now, but they were open earlier today. And this is something that they, this has been a disruptor in the world of business down here. And it's been something that's been very difficult for a lot of local business owners. Matter of fact, the sandwich shop right here, I think I've seen that open maybe a handful of times since we've been here in DC. So very tough for them as well. If you're just now joining us, welcome. We are live on the streets of Washington, D.C. We are walking down 14th Street on our way down to the Willard Hotel. This will give you an idea of what this city looks like right now. This is a very different city than it was when we were here just last week. This is a very different city than it was on January the 6th. It's a very different city than it was back, if you look right after the election. So the evolution of security in this city, the events that's been going on in this city has really changed the landscape of what it is today. And of course, I can imagine that's going to continue as we go into inauguration here set on Wednesday. More security people walking up here. I've talked to several people from around the country. There's people from all over the place that's coming in to, thank you for your service, that have come in to protect us here at our nation's capital. So there's people from all around the country coming in specifically to work this area. Be careful there, Gage. All right, so this gives us a good idea. Let's take a look at this real quick. These are the fences, and sometimes it's hard to get up close to them, and just to gauge the pure size and height of this fence. But this is what you see throughout DC, and it seems like there's not a street you can go to right now that you don't see this, and it just makes me think about the time, the labor it took to build all of this and to block all these streets off. And there's also portable restrooms at certain blocks. I think this next block has some as well, as they really have laid out the infrastructure for securing this area. Now, there's all kinds of theories, and I don't want to get into all these hypotheticals about why there's so much security here right now. Is it a total reaction to what happened on January 6th? Perhaps. Is it a reaction to just protecting the new administration? Perhaps that is as well. We don't know at this point. But what I do know is that Washington, D.C. is a very safe place to be right now. I've never felt more secure walking down a main street in a major city in this country as I do right now. There's a large police presence here, security checkpoints beyond security checkpoints. There are multiple. I just don't understand why, if anybody would come down here with the intent of doing something bad, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. They have such a control on this city. It's incredible. Okay, on the corner here is the Willard Hotel. I'm on the corner of F and 14th. A very popular corner during both marches for the Trump marches. This was a very busy area where a lot of people gathered around, basically had gathering conversations. This is the JW Marriott on my left, and of course the Willard Hotel there on my right. But just as a very different scene. Here we are on a Saturday night, and there's no one down here. There's no one down here. Perhaps workers, perhaps people who work in the hotels or security law enforcement. And now let me see. It looks like, Gage, that we're not going to be able to go down there. That looks completely, if my eyes are, am I right? Well, no, I think it's all pretty much, let's see where this goes. I don't know. I mean, this gives you an idea. Now, if you go down this ramp, down this street and to the left, that is Freedom Plaza. Obviously, I'm looking to see if there's any. It doesn't look like there's any gates that are open right now. So this area is 100% restricted. Now, I don't know, perhaps if we can go to our right into here. I don't know. We've got some officers walking this way. Perhaps we can ask them. But this area is definitely restricted. And yeah, there's a whole nother gate right there. That's what I'm saying. I just don't see a ways to get through. Now, they just walk through here. Let's see if we can go through this way. Obviously, that's blocked off. Well, you know what? I don't know if that actually might work. That actually might work. Let's see if we can go through here. I definitely don't want to break any laws or do anything that we're not supposed to do. But it seems like to go to the Willard, you would go down the sidewalk. So it looks like we're okay at this point. Just want to make sure that we don't do anything that we're not supposed to do. We're out here covering. We're showing you the situation here in Washington, D.C. We're not out here to provide law enforcement just another person they have to keep in check here. All right, so there's a checkpoint there with metal detectors. And I was told, like I said on Tuesday, a lot of that goes in full effect for the inauguration. So anybody coming down here, there's multiple checkpoints for the metal detectors to make sure everyone is safe. JW Marriott, point of reference on your left. The Willard Hotel behind us. Of course, this was these two places here were very, very busy the last couple months, just not with the MAGA rallies, but just also with people in general coming down to Washington, D.C. I wish we could take a walk down to Trump International, which is just down the ways a little bit, but I don't think we can cross this area. I think that is one area that has been completely restricted as well. Also, you can follow us on all social media. You might be watching us right now on Facebook or Twitter or any one of these other platforms, YouTube as well. You can follow us across all social media. We are on Parler, but I think at this point Parler has been pretty much locked down. Okay, so Freedom Plaza, very different situation than we had last week. Now it is tense. Perhaps it's some type of housing situation or a temporary base camp, if you will. Very different than it was before. Back in the ground, I don't know if you can see the Trump Tower is behind, or Trump International Hotel is behind all of that. Yeah, he'll pull out and tilt up. There it is. What a beautiful building that is at night, by the way. A beautiful hotel, very historic hotel. Looks beautiful at night. And you can just see the Capitol. Let's see if we can get over here, Gage. You can just see the Capitol on the upper end of the tent line there. Let's see if we can see that. Give you a good shot of the Capitol building behind us as well. As I was saying, you can follow us on social media. Make sure, because we will be posting up a lot of content while we're here in DC. We want to make sure that you get up to date on everything. And of course, you can follow me as well at Brian Glenn TV. That's BRIANGLENN, Brian Glenn TV, across the board on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you follow my verified account on Facebook for all the developments here in DC. If you're just now joining us, we are live, Washington, D.C., down here, showing you exactly what's going on right now. You might have seen a lot of stuff on social media, a lot of troops, a lot of street closures, a lot of barricades, and we want to show all of that to you as we see it. And it has literally been a very fluid situation for the last day or so, as it looks different today than it looked last night. And of course, I would imagine that this will continue to be a very evolving situation for us. That is a brand new memorial, the National World War I Memorial. They were in the middle of building that when we were here just months ago to cover the post-election. Obviously, it looks like they've stopped on that until all the events here have passed. I don't know at this point, perhaps we can walk up towards the Treasury building and then we'll kind of wrap it up, give you an idea. Very historic Willard Hotel. Someone pointed this out to me on social media. On top of it, it says the Willard Intercontinental, salutes America's 46th president, is what that banner says at the very top. And from what I understand, every president, every modern day president, dating back 50, 60, 70 years, has stayed at this hotel. Very historic hotel here in Washington, D.C. And of course, they have a banner that salutes America's 46th president. Okay, so at that point, we're getting a little bit of rain showers. I want to make sure that Gage and I can jump off this and we're able to get in a nice dry place so the bottom doesn't drop out on us. But this gives you an idea of what's going on in D.C. Now, we will be out here tomorrow. We are hoping, fingers crossed, we've got some pretty exciting things that are happening content-wise at the White House that we're hoping we can bring to you. This would be content that I think would be absolutely epic, and some interviews that would be incredible. So we're hoping to bring that to you as well coming up on Monday. We are off on Tuesday. We are planning to leave DC on Tuesday. That's bearing any kind of hard news that might be going on. All right, for all things Right Side Broadcasting, make sure you go to our website as well. And don't forget to donate. We appreciate all of your giving for Right Side, because we are viewer supported. And of course, big thanks to Mike Lindell over at mypillow.com. Mypillow.com. Don't forget, guys, go to the website, put in your promo code RSBN, and get up to 66% off your entire order. That's the dog bags, that's the Giza sheets, that's the pillows, everything right there at mypillow.com. And don't forget to follow us on all social media. Follow me as well at Brian Glenn TV across the board. All right, let us know where you're watching us from as well. comment, put your location. We like to respond to as many people as we can. We're going to jump off this, go find somewhere dry to wait for a while. We'll jump on social media. I can't wait to engage with you guys. And as well, go watch that Mike Lindell video. We'll put some links up to you to find the latest location for those videos. I know we've had to move them around so they can stay on social media. Until next time, goodbye. God bless from downtown Washington, D.C.
Unakumbuka nini juu ya huduma bora wakati wa mapumziko yako? Je, ni ule upepo unaovuma kutoka pwani ya ziwa Victoria, huku vipepeo na sauti za ndege zikipamba ngoma ya masikio yako? Au uzuri wa vyakula kwa utaalamu wa ladha kutoka bahari ya Hindi, Kichina hadi vyakula vya bara na vya Kiswahili? Au lepe la usingizi kutoka kwenye vyumba vyenye hadhi ya nyota 5? Ama ndo ile raha ya maji kwenye swimming pool safi yenye maji ya kunukia? Unakumbuka? Hapana? Karibu Chato Beach Resort iliyoko Chato mkoani Geita, au tupigie. Chato Beach Resort. Mapumziko ya kweli.
Ili kuwa mwanafamilia bora wa Global TV, usisahau kusubscribe, like, kushare na kucomment. Baada ya kusubscribe, bonyeza alama ya kengele ili kupata taarifa kwa kila video inayopanda Global TV Online.